steel leaves port at dawn, and the crew targets record Atlantic bluefin on a high-stakes run. On deck, bait tubs and hooks move fast because wasted minutes become costly miles offshore.
Paper charts narrow the search to temperature edges, where giant tuna patrol beyond daylight. Bait strips are cut uniform, built to stay on hooks through long soaking hours. Each circle hook shows visible bait, a small detail that decides whether a bluefin commits.
Floats, clips, and mainline are checked twice because tangles erase profit before hauling begins.
Open water darkens ahead, leaving only wake, wind, and routine steel work on deck. Safety calls replace small talk when heavy line starts moving near drums and wet rails. The first buoy drops, and the long line vanishes seaward, carrying hundreds of baited hooks. Below, baited hooks descend through blue water, and the frame stays empty of fish.
Currents bend the main line slowly, and every bait drifts steady without revealing any target yet.
Particles thickle in darkness, turning the set into a waiting game measured by time and tension. The last buoy settles, logs are written, and the deck quiets while the line soaks. Night watch tracks buoy drift and weather, because one giant bite can trigger alarms. At dawn, the hauler stands ready, and subtle buoy movement hints the first fight. One buoy ruzz sideways fast, and pressure climbs through the long line like pulled cable. Spray tightens behind the stern, showing a deep run that refuses to slow.
Deep below, a giant bluefin bites hard, and the circle hook seats cleanly.
The leader snaps tight from the mouth, and the tuna powers away into blue.
On deck, gloved hands balance speed and braking, keeping the hauler drum controlled.
The hauler takes strain, and the crew matches pace to the tuna's deep, stubborn run.
Down the line, the hooked bluefin turns hard, using body weight to grind the leader tight.
Surface boils beside steel, hinting the fish is rising, but still refusing to yield. A chafe guard slides into place, because one rough rub can cut a giant free. The leader shortens fast, and the crew braces for the first clean sight of tuna. The giant bluefin breaches full body, then crashes back, ripping a white sheet of spray. 3 fishermen reset grip positions, turning chaos into controlled angles at the rail.
Underwater, the tuna corkscrews, trying to roll the hook free but only tightening pressure.
The wake pattern tightens, and the fish starts circling closer instead of running straight away.
The tuna hits the deck alive, thrashing heavy, while the crew pins it safely without gore. A quick reset clears the deck, keeping the fish controlled and the long line still connected. Another surge pulls the fish back toward the rail, forcing a controlled slide off deck. Back in water, the tuna drags a tight circle, keeping pressure constant on every pull. The crew gains line inch by inch, using timing rather than brute strength alone.
A wide lifting strap is staged, ready for the moment the fish finally settles.
The bluefin erupts again, half-turning midair, and the leader snaps taut from its mouth. After the splash, the circle tightens, and the crew pulls the fish back to steel.
Underwater close-up confirms the hook stays seated,
refusing to slip even as the fish shakes.
The tuna slows, switching from sprint to stubborn circles that gradually shrink beside the hull.
With line short, the crew prepares a clean lift path, keeping every move deliberate. Tuna explodes on deck, and controlled ropes keep power from turning into injury today.
Wands pin the tail, and a sling strap slides under as the hook stays seated.
At the rail, the bluefin surges again, and the leader hums under brutal tension alone.
A close underwater shake shows the jaw hook holding firm, even as the tuna twists hard.
The sling tightens, the winch lifts, and the fish rises beside steel in slow, heavy arcs.
Broadside at the surface, the giant bluefin gulps air and loses speed with each circle. A final burst shakes the stern, and crew voices snap short commands over wind and water.
The tuna launches again, scattering spray across the hull, then slams down, still pulling hard.
Tail rope locks in, and the sling guides the fish forward while the leader stays clean.
A deck boom takes the load, lifting the tuna clear as seawater streams off its flanks.
The fish lands with a thud, and 3 fishermen keep it centered until the motion settles.
Work turns quiet, and the tuna is calmed and secured for chilled storage without visible blood.
A D-hooker frees the circle hook from the jaw corner, and the leader is coiled away. The deck crew moves fast, because another heavy pull could start before this fish is stowed. The giant is slid to the hatch, and crew muscles it into a cold brine tank.
Inside the hold, brine churns as the tuna disappears under ice, preserving value immediately there.
An analog thermometer confirms sub-zero chill, and the logbook records weight estimates for a potential record.
Back on deck, the longline keeps coming, and more baited hooks are cleared with practiced speed.
Seawater rinse clears the deck, and the crew resets stations for the next high-pressure bite.
The vessel powers ahead, leaving only foam and steel as the hunt continues beyond the horizon.
A second buoy dives, signaling another giant bluefin has found bait and turned the longline into a fight.
Underwater, a second tuna bites hard, and the circle hook locks cleanly into the jaw corner.
By noon, ice giants stack on deck, and the crew celebrates a record haul without a drop of blood. The longliner reaches port, carrying the world's biggest tuna, and every minute matters for cold quality. Lines snap onto bollards, and forklifts wait as the hold opens to reveal massive bluefin under ice.
A dock crane lifts each tuna in slings, keeping bodies intact while inspectors watch grades and tags. At the scale, weight numbers climb, confirming these bluefin are true giants of the Atlantic fishery. Ice is replenished fast, and insulated bins roll toward the plant before surface warmth can soften meat.
Inside receiving, water jets rinse salt away, and workers sort tuna by size and fat signatures.
A clean first cut opens loins, revealing deep red flesh with white marbling prized for sushi markets.
Knives separate prime sections with steady hands, and trimmings move to secondary products with zero branding.
Quality staff check color and texture, because one warm spot can downgrade a $1,000 portion.
Blocks are squared into saku, vacuum-sealed plain, and labeled without barcodes or readable logos anywhere. In the blast freezer, fans roar as core temperature drops, locking freshness before shipment schedules begin. Pallets build in cold rooms, and paperwork tracks lot numbers by handwriting to avoid digital screens. A final inspection seals cartons, keeping packaging blank and clean while the next run is planned offshore. Forklifts stage frozen product at the dock door, ready for refrigerated trucks under strict timestamps.
Reefer doors close, and temperature probes confer steady sub-zero air before the convoy departs the port.
Warehouse lights stay muted, and workers scan by hand, ensuring each lot stays traceable without brand marks.
The first truck pulls away, and the plant resets knives and tables for the next wave of bluefin. Cartons enter glazing. Thin ice coats each block, protecting surface color through long transit cycles. Workers stack pallets in a -60 room, where breath fogs and timelines stay unforgiving today. A plain label is applied by hand, showing lot codes only, with no barcodes or logos.
Port crews load pallets into reefer containers, checking seals and temperature logs before doors clamp shut.
Inside the plant, loin grading separates otoro from lean cuts, based on marbling and color stability. Trimmings become mince for rolls, while prime saku blocks remain untouched, squared, and chilled fast. Vacuum machines pulse, pulling air away to prevent oxidation, while workers watch for perfect seals.
Quality checks confirm deep red flesh and white fat lines, matching premium Atlantic bluefin standards.
Boxed product moves to staging lanes, where forklifts run silent and pallets alight for dispatch. In a meeting corner, the crew reviews totals and fuel costs, already planning the next set.
A final rinse sanitizes tables, and knives are swapped, keeping the line ready for non-stop throughput.
From dock to freezer, timestamps mark every handoff, because minutes decide market grade here. Pallets roll into a reefer bay, and probes verify core temperatures stay locked below target.
A sealed container is latched and numbered, then staged under cameras without any readable branding.
Drivers sign paperwork, and the convoy departs, maintaining cold chain with disciplined stops only today. At a distribution dock, cartons transfer quickly, and doors close before warm air can creep inside. In a quiet kitchen, a chef thaws saku slowly, keeping the surface dry and grain firm.
Knife strokes slice translucent sashimi, revealing deep red tuna and delicate white marbling lines cleanly.
Rice is pressed, and nigiri is formed, matching portion weight to traditional sushi balance precisely.
A pan sears a thick bluefin steak, creating crust while the center stays ruby and moist.
Sauce reduces gently, and plated slices show consistent marbling, with no garnish branding or labels.
In the dining room, American men sit down, and the first bite confirms texture and fat.
A chef explains grades at the table, using simple words while guests compare lean versus fatty cuts.
Most plates show deep red sashimi, bright white marbling, and clean edges under warm restaurant light.
Chopsticks and forks pause, then continue, as diners nod and the room stays calm and ordinary.
Back in kitchen, leftovers are sealed plain, and refrigerators hum without logos, screens, or labels.
A final dish is plated simply, highlighting marbling and color, with no dramatic music cues implied. The chef wipes the board clean, and the knife is stored, ending the process with routine discipline.
Outside, a sealed truck idles briefly, then leaves, keeping cold chain intact beyond the restaurant.
Night settles, and the story closes on empty tables, while the ocean work continues unseen tomorrow.